Welcome to God With Us, an Advent reflection series to help us all prepare for Christmas. This series is presented by Ignatian Young Adult Ministries, an initiative of the Office of Ignatian Spirituality. Take a deep breath, pause, and join us in reflecting on our first week's theme, Climbing the Mountain of God. This reflection was written by Anthony Russo, a member of the 2023-2025 cohort of Contemplative Leaders in Action in Boston. I don't climb very many mountains, and when I do, I want all the details beforehand. How strenuous will it be? How long will it take? Who's bringing the snacks? And most importantly, assurances of some kind of reward on the other side. Good views are a must, as is a plan for the post-hike meal. My most recent hike was no exception. I was visiting Mount Rainier in Washington this past summer with a few friends. One friend, who's pretty go with the flow, had one request. She wanted to hike the Skyline Trail in an area of the park called Paradise. Skyline is a 5.5-mile trail with a 1,700-foot elevation gain that takes about 4.5 hours to complete. For more seasoned hikers, this might be status quo, but for us, it was tough. And it was the highest mountain I've climbed. Today's first reading from Isaiah speaks of an even higher mountain, the mountain of the Lord's house, which was to be established as the highest mountain and raised above the hills. The prophet continues, "All nations shall stream toward it. Many people shall come and say, 'Come, let us climb the Lord's mountain, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may instruct us in his ways, and we may walk in his paths.'" This journey to the Lord's mountain is hard work. Unlike how I prepare for a hike, it's not possible to know all the details. But it is possible to pack the snacks, to consider what will sustain us on this path. This is particularly important during the Advent season, as we ready our hearts for the coming of Emmanuel, God with us. This preparation certainly should include time for prayer and reflection, but also for community, drawing close to others as God does to us. My hike at Mount Rainier would have been impossible, or maybe just miserable, without others. Certainly my friends, but also the many other hikers from around the world who streamed toward this mountain with us. Community can also help us to stay awake, as both the second reading and the Gospel exhort. I write this in the wake of multiple school shootings, instances of political violence, and wars raging around the world. Staying awake is sometimes the last thing I want to do. Yet the path of God is clear. One nation shall not raise the sword against another, nor shall they train for war again. To stay awake, we must remain rooted in the God who is always with us, our triune God, whose very nature is communal. This God reminds us of our own interconnectedness and helps form the bonds of community near and far. This God decries the horrors of war and the other ways we break these bonds. Our preparations during Advent should not simply help us celebrate the birth of Jesus, the Prince of Peace, but to participate in it, to commit to growing as instruments of peace and creating anew the ways of Christ in our hurting world. As I climbed the mountain in Paradise this summer, Traversing the steep and rugged trail, the grandeur of God's creation took my breath away. But when we climb God's mountain, when we walk on God's paths, we witness a paradise even more spectacular. We look forward to climbing with you throughout this Advent season. Join us next week as we consider what it means to ache for a better world.